Hello and welcome to another video. So we're going to be looking at the cards that have currently been revealed. We have a few that we can look at today. So the first one is Darkfeast Bat. Pretty interesting Bloodcraft legendary and the companion to Vania for this expansion. So it's a 7-drop 5/5. Its effect is fairly decent with fanfare. Deal X damage to an enemy. X equals the number of times that your leader was damaged during your turn in this match. So while it's not the equivalent damage of, say, how much you were damaged, it's the amount of times you were damaged during your turn. This card could work quite well as a control blood finisher, especially in rotation format where you're really lacking some cards. This has some potential. I don't know whether it's going to be great, but I can't see it being broken. Getting an OTK off with this will be very difficult. Most of the time, you'll probably be lucky to get about 5 to 6 damage on average, with a low end of probably around 3 to 4 and a high end of probably 8 to 9, unless you are deliberately holding on to this and building a deck specifically to use this card as an OTK sort of card, which would still be very difficult and probably inconsistent. But we haven't seen all the cards yet from this set, so it's hard to judge exactly what this might have synergy with overall. Although the cards that we do know currently are things like Nukt and Jorm, where dealing damage to yourself is quite common, so could be an interesting one. Then we have Dirk Steelarm Battler. 5-drop 5/3 silver for Portalcraft. It's a rush, fanfare. Put a random artifact card that costs at least 3 play points into your hand. Assuming we don't get any more artifacts, it can only pull Radiant and Mystic artifact at this time. Although the rush effect is quite nice for 5, I think this could take up Harabe's spot quite nicely because it does work nicer as a rush. Instead of having to use an evolve to get any value out of this, you could easily use it to swarm the board and attack, while at the same time pulling yourself a random artifact. And by random, it's really only one of 2 at this stage, which could be very easy for you to design your deck around. I think this card has a good amount of potential, and for a silver is very, very good. Then we have Force of the Dragonewt. So this is a 3-drop spell, obviously a gold. It's deal 1 damage to all enemies, enhance 5, deal 2 damage. It is Dragoncraft, so overall this card is an interesting one, especially since it is taking the spot of Salamander. It's definitely a more balanced Salamander. I always thought Salamander was too strong for what it was, so I think this is a really good replacement in rotation to balance out the format a little bit more. Next on the list is a Galua of Two Breaths. So this is a 5-drop 4/4 silver dragon card. It's a very interesting looking one. It's not the one from the trailer, but it is quite cool. Fanfare, choose, put either a white breath or black breath into your hand. So looking at white breath, it's a draw 2-cost spell. And looking at Black Breath, it's a 4-cost destroyed enemy follower amulet. This adds a nice bit of versatility, and considering that's a 5-drop, could work out quite nicely with Dragon's ramp abilities. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this card goes. Being a silver, it's reasonably cheap and affordable for new players, and gives you a nice choice mechanic to work with. Then we have Neil, Queen of Fashion. This has personally been translated by me using both translators and fan translations that I've found around the place. So Neil, Queen of Fashion, probably not the final name, just the name that I could get from the translations available. It's a Forest Craft, 4-cost 3/4, fanfare effect, add 1 of choice card into your hand. So to word that a little bit better, add 1 choice card into your hand. Choice cards are Angel Dress and Demon's Dress, which we actually saw on the Twitter, which was actually posted, I think, falsely, along with the other one, in place of the Dragon amulets, or not amulets, sorry, Dragon token cards. It's Demon Dress, a 1-drop spell for Forest, change an enemy's follower's defense to 1. I think that's pretty nice, considering it's a choice spell and it only costs 1. It has a lot of potential to go with some other cards, especially Cassiopeia, and make clears a lot easier. Although we did have Woodland Curse, I believe, which was exactly the same effect for a 2-cost. I think this coming off a follower and being a 1-cost is actually pretty reasonable. Then we also have Angel's Dress. It's just a +1/+1, which could work well in a more aggressive orientated deck where you're looking for buff cards, especially if you're playing this alongside Elf Song. This could work out nicely as one of your 2 cards that needs to be played to get Elf Song's effect. Then we have Vania, which I hope everyone has seen by now, but Vania Nightshade Vampire, Bloodcraft legendary of course, and it's a 6-drop 3/6. If you have at least 6 play points and Vengeance is active for you, play this card as either a Kind Queen Vampire or a Blood Queen Vampire. Fanfare, deal 2 damage to both leaders, then summon a Forest Bat. So if you don't activate the choice effect, you get the default Fanfare, which is the deal 2 damage to both the leaders, then summon a Forest Bat. If you do get to choose the choice effect, which I'm guessing would be 99% of the time, you will be able to choose either Blood Queen Vampire here, which is a Storm, Fanfare summon a Forest Bat. Whenever a Forest Bat comes into play, give it Bane, which is really nice synergy, and I hope we see more Forest Bat cards come into the game. I really always enjoyed that kind of archetype and would love to see more of it. It's also a nice solid 5/8 when evolved, so that works out too. And being a Storm, 5/8 damage to face plus a Bane, it's pretty solid. Otherwise, Kind Queen Vania is a 6-drop 3/6 Drain. Fanfare, summon a Forest Bat. Whenever an allied Forest Bat comes into play, give it Ward. So this one, with an evolve, could clear a follower, set up a nice ward, and heal you for 5. So I really like this card for its versatility. It shows off the choice effect perfectly, being able to have either a very aggressive style play or a very control-orientated play. Either one being pretty interesting depending on the deck you're running it in. Will it see a lot of play? I'm not sure. It's going to depend on the Forest Bat support in rotation. And in Unlimited, I think this has some potential, especially in Storm decks. I mean, you can guarantee 5 damage Storm really quickly, and has some synergy with normal Vania, so I really hope this one will see at least some decent play because it is a pretty cool card. Overall, that is all of the cards that have been revealed so far. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. As soon as we have a new batch of cards that have been revealed, I will be posting another one, so stay tuned for that. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya.